It's almost that time of year again, when all of the major publishers get out their big titles in hopes of racking up huge sales in the coming winter shopping season. Of course, with so much stuff coming out all at once, it's easy to get lost in the tide. And not all of the games will be that good. In fact, we expect most of them to be mediocre at best. Thankfully, that's not what we are here to talk about today. Instead, we're going to tell you what we think about the 10 top new video games releasing in September 2018. Not only will this help you navigate the sea of new releases so typical of the season, but it will also give you a way to hone in on the titles you want to play. After all, that's what gaming is about, right? Finding the best stuff out there and experiencing worlds beyond our own. Without any more delay, here are our top 10 new game releases for September 2018. Number 10. Dragon Quest XI. Though not as big a hit in the West as it is back in its home country of Japan, Dragon Quest XI is a huge leap forward for the series in terms of graphics and player options. Taking cues from many of the popular open-world fantasy titles currently on offer, Dragon Quest XI is a must-play for fans of Japanese role-playing games, and should be, hands down, the best JRPG coming out this year. If you've never experienced a Dragon Quest game, the 11th installment might be the perfect place to start. Number 9. NBA Live 19. It isn't often that you find a series that comes out every year that also provides updates to gameplay and presentation that make the purchase worth it, but NBA Live 19 is one of those games. The name-brand basketball simulation series from EA, NBA Live 19, not only has the benefit of the official NBA roster, but also all of the technical know-how present in the sports gaming division of gaming giant Electronic Arts. Again, this title is a must-play for fans of the series, but also serves as a great first experience for people who have never played a live game before. And the best thing of all about NBA Live 19 is that it will be available for everyone out there, so you really have no excuse. Number 8. Spider-Man. This game should come as no surprise, as the upcoming Spider-Man title for PS4 is easily one of the most anticipated games of the year. Developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony themselves, Spider-Man comes out early in the month and is a purely single-player action-adventure title, a rarity these days. That means there are high hopes for it, and we hope that Insomniac comes through. Promising to simulate what it is like to be Spider-Man, we can't help but have a bit of been here, done that before vibe about the game. That said, when a Spider-Man game is good, it's really good, and we can't wait to see what this title has to offer. Number 7. Valkyria Chronicles 4. The Valkyria Chronicles series of tactical RPGs has quite a storied history in gaming. The first game came out back in 2008 for the PlayStation 3, and the fourth installment largely continues the gameplay established back then, with huge improvements, of course, in cinematic narrative and graphics. A beautiful series of games, the Valkyria Chronicles games imagine a world vaguely European in flavor, but set in an industrial era unlike most RPGs, which favor a medieval setting. With war as the main focus for the titles, it is no shock Valkyria Chronicles gameplay revolves around martial combat against foes. Perfect for fans of classic games like Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a bit of old-school flavor among a slew of cutting-edge titles. Number 6. FIFA 19. FIFA 19, like NBA Live 19, is often considered by many to be the premier football game out there, and this year's installment promises to carry on that tradition. Developed by EA, FIFA 19 features enhanced simulation elements, including team management and improved interaction with the ball. Devs are promising that controls will be more contextual in nature and will aim to more closely simulate what it is like to play football on the pitch. Number 5. Omen of Sorrow. You might be thinking, what? But hear us out. Omen of Sorrow looks like one of the craziest fighting game concepts to come out in a while. Reminiscent of Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat, Omen of Sorrow is a 2D fighting game that promises unique mechanics, bolstered by a cast that looks like it's ripped straight from the Blackthorn comic strip. We're kind of hyped not because this is a huge AAA title, but rather because it is an indie being given the spotlight. We hope everything works out. Number 4. Boundless. Boundless has big plans for its somewhat modest aesthetic, and that is to become nothing less than the Minecraft of this console generation. a sandbox, massively multiplayer online game. Boundless puts players in control of a cat-like avatar that can explore a procedurally generated world and use the materials within it to craft items and reshape the landscape. Sound familiar? It should, because Boundless isn't shy about its inspirations, and we can't wait to see what the folks at Wonderstruck Games release this September. Number 3. Shadows Awakening. An action tactical RPG game, Shadows Awakening, looks set to resurrect the old-school PC RPG gameplay we all know and love from the 1990s. Set in a world that is torn between two realms, that of the demons and that of the mortals, players can seamlessly switch between the two in order to experience the full story. Focusing on a single-player, narrative-driven experience, the devs over at Games Farm hope that Shadows Awakening stands out for its melding of old-school and new-school gameplay. Number 2. Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner Mars. A remaster of Zone of the Enders 2, Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner Mars is probably one of the hottest old games coming out this year. Throwing players into the heat of intense mech combat, the Zone of the Enders series is beloved for its action, but also its really deep storylines. Considered one of the best games of its generation, Zone of the Enders 2 will win over entirely new audiences when it comes out. Number 1. Immortal Unchained. Imagine a Dark Souls game set in a science fiction universe, and you come close to what Toadman Interactive is doing with their upcoming action role-playing game, Immortal Unchained. Using the mechanics of a Souls game but the weapons of a sci-fi shooter, Immortal Unchained is immediately unique and promises as much, and even different challenges than its inspiration. Promising a strong storyline to underpin everything, Toadman Interactive looks set to bring out a real blockbuster title in the form of Immortal Unchained. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, don't forget to like and subscribe below. Also, be sure to ring the bell to get future notifications from YouTube when we post new videos.